What's up, Rated R Cars family? I'm Brian and this is Rated R Cars. Today I'm going to be showing you how to hardwire a Vantrue dash cam or any dash cam or radar detector or other device directly into the fuse box of a Mustang GT, or in this case a Mustang GT350. We're going to tap into a fuse that is either always on or that is only on when the car is running. I'm going to be doing this for a Vantrue dash cam. I want this to be always on, always recording, because as you remember, I got my car dinged pretty viciously a few months ago. But I'm going to also show you how to find fuses that are only on when the car is running. I'm going to put a link to most of the tools that I'm using below in the description, so if you would be kind enough to use my links to purchase these, I will get commission, which I will invest back into the channel. So first of all, what are you going to need? You're going to need a 10mm socket, a pair of needle nose pliers to help remove the fuse. You're going to need a circuit tester like this nice one I have that actually tells you the voltage. And you're going to need one of these fuse tap kits. This one is from Vantrue. It comes with all the different fuse taps that you need with the fuses built right in. Here's what that looks like. This is going to require, at least on the Mustang GT and GT350, this requires a little bit of work to fit the fuse box, and I'll show you what that means here. Okay guys, so this wire tap was just a little bit too thick to go into the GT350 fuse box, so I'm taking this bench grinder, and I took off just a little bit on this side, and I'm going to take off a little bit on the other side. It's a little bit dangerous, so not really recommended to do this, but you got to do what you got to do. So here we go. Famous last words. This thing takes it down quick, so you got to keep checking every so often to make sure you don't go down too far. If you look at, this is your fuse box, and if you look at this second image here, you can see that this little gap where you plug in the fuse tap has these little tabs on them, which make it impossible to insert the fuse tap into them. So here is what I did. I basically just ground this down thusly and very carefully. So A, I did not grind my fingers to the bone. Don't try that at home, kids. And B, so that didn't damage the fuse tap. But ultimately it came out well, and the fuse tap fits right into the fuse box. I'm also using a Nightcore tactical flashlight to illuminate the fuse box, since it's hard to see in there. And you're also going to need some F11 to make your car sexy as I also might use this little Cam Park camera. It's a sports cam. I'm going to do a review of this for maybe getting in there and getting some tight shots. It is very cramped in here. You're going to want to put your car seat all the way back, because as I'm about to show you, for those of you who don't already know, your fuse box is crammed way over here. Let me get this light on. Way over here in a panel by the passenger's foot. So you just pop that guy out, just like I already did. Set that aside so it doesn't get damaged, and so you don't stab yourself on these little pins when you get in here, because you are going to have to get right in here. And that's what the fuse box looks like there. Now we're going to, I don't know if you can see this, but we're going to have to ground the wire tap as well, and I'm going to loosen that nut right there and just put the ground right in there and then screw it back in. I put on some fleece so you guys don't have to deal with my man nips. It's like 30 degrees out here, bros. So what we're going to do here is connect up here. The Vantrue is nice because it has two ways to connect the wire. One is like it is here hanging off on the side. The other one is if you're going to hardwire it, they have this power adapter way up here so you can hide it. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the wire up through the mirror, up through here. We're going to take off the A pillar, run it down the side over here, adjust the camera here. Then we're going to tuck it in all the way over here, under here, into the fuse box, and then it should be out of sight, out of mind. So we're going to unplug the old one just to get that out of the way. We're going to take the fuse tap one and just hook it over here. I would tie it, actually just tie it around a little bit like that. so it doesn't fall down on you. Then we're going to be running this. First I'm going to just run it up here and tuck this in. I know there's a tool to tuck these in. I don't actually have one, so I'm going to have to come up with some makeshift way to get that in there. Actually, put it in there, run that up there. And later on I'm going to actually put it through this plastic piece here where the other wires are going up and feed it directly in there. But for now, we're just going to keep on tucking that in there. Now, I did take this A-pillar off already. Basically, you just stick your fingers in like this and pull it out of there. It's got a speaker connected to it and everything like that. I didn't want to take it out completely, but you don't actually have to. You can just put the wire in up here, run the wire down here. All right, so far so good. Make sure that you still have enough room to plug in up here. Yes, you do. I didn't want to run this over here on the foam because ultimately at the bottom over here, you're going to have to run the wire across and it wouldn't look good. So what we're going to do is tuck it over into here. All right, so what's easier is if you just lift up this foam protector over here and pull this plastic piece out like this and then tuck it in that way. And it's going to be less compressed. Wire goes right in just like that. There we go. Yeah, much better. And you gotta just snap it back into place and get that rubber protector back on there. All right. Take that back up there too. Got to reconnect the A-pillar, so we'll get this, ouch. Okay, just make sure that's tucked back in. Pull out this rubber here. Make sure you pull out this rubber all the way up before you snap the A-pillar back in place. There it is. Look at that. Nice clean look. All right, so can't see it at all. Let's tuck that in up there a little bit later. It's run through the A-pillar, comes over here. We took out this plastic panel, put it back in. Then we're just going to continue to tuck this over here into the fuse box. Kind of hard to see. Let me get a better camera. This is not the easiest install to film, so sorry guys if the camera is moving around a little bit or a lot. Okay, so you're going to want to take the ground and remove this nut here. You don't even have to remove it. You can just loosen it and then slide up the connector and then just retighten it. And then the fuse box is here. So depending on what you want to do, so you either want to have your equipment always on, like I do, or only on when the car is running. So you got to test which fuses are always on and which ones are only on when the ignition is on. So in order to do that, first of all, we got to take this circuit tester and we got to ground it. So what I'm going to do is just, I don't know if you can see, but there's another bolt right up there. I just grab that. Hopefully we can get a good shot of how this circuit tester works, but basically we're going to go ahead and just touch this fuse here. It's a 10. Nothing on the readout, as you can hopefully see. We're going to go up here to a 20. There it is right there. Okay, so we got 12 volts on the 20 amp. Even if it's 12 volts, the Vantrue Hardwire kit will lower it automatically to 5 volts, so you don't have to worry about what size you're going to put it in. I'm going to just put it in the 10 amp there. So I can use this 20, but I just, for whatever reason, I feel more comfortable using a 10. So I'll test this one up here, and yep, we got a 12 volt. Try to get a better shot of this. Okay, this, like I said, this is really hard to film, guys, so, but I want to show you this tool. So touch this 10 here. Make sure you get a connection. Yep. So So as you can see, it's saying 12.3 volts. Hopefully you got a good shot of that. I'm going to stop the camera and check it. All right, so I want that always on one. The Vantru has a nice feature that if the battery of the car is running low, it automatically turns off the camera so it doesn't drain your battery. And then you just choose the fuse tap that you want. This is the one that I filed down. And what I'm going to do is pop out that 10 amp fuse and pop it right into here. As you can see, there's a slot for it. And then I'll plug this in where that 10 amp fuse was. And then we'll connect this wire to the rest of the Vantru wire after I ground it. So grounding. All right, so here's a lesson for you guys in case you didn't know. See that bolt up there I was trying to ground to? The nut is actually attached to the washer. I just had to take this off to see if there's any way to slip in the ground wire. And you can't fit it in there because the washer's attached. Just tightening that back up. Okay, so what I did is I tucked this wire back in behind the washer and secured it to the bolt, and then tightened the washer over the ground wire between the plastic so it's held snugly in place over that bolt. Next step is we're going to take our needle nose pliers, pull out that 10 amp, plug that 10 amp into here, into this little slot here. And then we'll plug this in to the fuse box. All right, next step is we're going to go in here and pull out that 10 amp fuse. Obviously, you want to be really gentle here. Tiny bit of wiggling. Pull it out. There it is. Okay, now next we're going to plug it right back into the wire tap on the top. This is going to be a tight fit. All right, there it is, nice and snug. Now we just connect this fuse tap. Yeah. Connect the fuse tap. Okay, I'm just going to wrap it with some electrical tape just for good measure. Making sure it's nice and snug. Okay, then we plug it in right under the 20. Can't actually see what I'm doing because the camera's in my way. This is a super tight space to be working in. There we go. All right. Just like that. Tuck this excess wire in. What I'll do is I'll tie wrap it just to make sure it's secure and nothing's vibrating. All right, let's put a tie wrap on here. Just make sure things aren't moving around too much. Nice and snug. Loose ends. Okay, the ground is snug. This is snug here.